Hi, Tile from Infidelity here. Today we're going to talk about the new Sennheiser Momentum Wireless M2 AEBT, to give you the whole name. This is a $499 noise canceling wireless Bluetooth 4.0 headphone. Very expensive portable headphone. For use for air travel and general use with your cell phone for people who can afford a good chunk of change. And we'll have to dig right into this because there's a lot to talk about. So first, the Momentum follows up on the previous Momentum. This is the previous version of the Momentum, and they've made some changes. One is the ear pads are now bigger, and you can probably see that pretty clearly here. They're also a little angled on the arm of the headphone so that it's more with your ear, where these are straight up and down. People did complain that these were a little small around your ear. The ear cup is a little bit larger. I'm not sure if I can get my hands positioned properly to show you the inside of the ear cups, but I'll do my best. But, you should be able to see there that the new one is a little bit bigger. Also, these don't have any folding mechanism, which made them kind of large to store. They came with a kind of a large carrying case. These ones now fold into a much more compact size. Come with a very nice black clamshell carrying case, which is pretty cool. Just to get through the accessories, also a little fabric storage bag to keep the dust off, a USB cable, a couple of little foamy things to stick in the ear cups if you're going to be storing it for a long time so it doesn't squish the ear pads so bad, and the cable that comes with it, which is a nice 57-inch, I think, cable. The remote functions are on the headband, but this cable allows you to or not on the headband, on the earphones, but this cable allows you to plug it in. It will operate without the battery on, but if the cable is plugged in, it will not act as a headset. I don't know why they did that. I think it was probably a cost savings thing, because I think these things are close to the line for them or something, but that they didn't go with a cable that had a remote. You can cheat, though, and purchase one of the Momentum cables. I'd suggest the one from the Momentum on-ear, and use it. And it has a remote control on the cable, and it does fit into the new Momentum earpiece. So you can use one of the cables from the other Momentums. I'd suggest the Momentum on-ear, because the Momentum full-size cable from that ear costs almost $100 as a spare part. The Momentum on-ear cable is more like $45 or something like that. If you read the article on Infidelity, it'll have the part number for that cable, so you could buy one if you want. The headband is leather, stainless steel on the outside here, leather ear cups. Very, very plush and nice. This is a very, very comfortable headphone. It adjusts well. Previously, the Momentum was a little odd fitting, and they did fix that. The cups have more movement up and down than the old Momentum. So they did a lot of work to make this a more ergonomic headphone. It's quite stylish looking. It does come in an ivory color as well, so you can certainly do that. Let's see, I think that's about all the physical stuff, because I did want to get to the sound. There's a lot to talk about on the sound quality front here. So first of all, in terms of sound quality, when you operate the Momentum Wireless on the wire with the device off, which you can do, it sounds similar to the Momentum, but not quite as good. The Momentum is a little more even sounding through the mid-range. The Momentum has a sort of a very polite top end. It's not very aggressive. It's a little laid back up on top. This is a little bit more forward through the upper vocal region, the sort of upper mid-range, low treble between, let's say, 702K. These are a little more accentuated than the older Momentum. So these have a little bit more of a hard and forward sound. The bass is also a little more elevated relative to the older Momentum. It does bleed a little bit into the mid-range, and it is a little woolly sounding. So between the two, there's while there's similarities, there's also some fairly significant differences. And this headphone, I would characterize it as sort of an upper mid-fi sound. It's good, but not great. Whereas these start breaking into the better performance. I'm not sure if I call it high-end, but certainly good at its price range at around $300. So that's passive. When it's activated, the bass kind of straightens out a little bit. The bass gets a little tighter, and the frequency response through about 500 hertz or so is a little bit more even, but it also becomes a little more forward through that upper mid-range, lower treble, and sounds a little bit more like a telephone. Not a lot, just a little bit. I don't want to drive you too far away, afield from the sound. So I would characterize these headphones as, when they're passive, is kind of upper mid-fi, and when they're run actively, kind of right in the middle of mid-fi. They're pretty good for a pair of headphones, sort of on average. But when you start weeding through the headphones, the performance is a little on the downside. Now, the thing that you have to understand is that that description is probably significantly better than I would give any other headphone of this type. So a wireless noise canceling headphone, the options in that area are, for one, the Parrot Zik 2 that I reviewed a while back. This is $100 less. It's got a lot of fancy features. It's a really cool headphone. It has an app that comes with it that allows it to be adjustable. And so I think you can probably get this headphone to sound a little bit better than the Momentums when they're being run wirelessly and with the noise canceling on. By the way, the noise canceling is always on these headphones. You can't turn it off. When you turn on the headphone, the noise canceling comes on. When you unplug the cable, then it becomes ready to be a Bluetooth headphone and can pair up. So these headphones maybe could sound a little bit better than the Sennheisers, but when they're run passively on the wire, when you run out of battery power, they sound horrible. They do operate anyway, but they sound horrible when their battery runs out. And they have, with all the functions running, they only have about a 6-hour battery life, where the Sennheiser has about a 20-hour battery life. So in terms of practicality of a headphone that is going to get you from here to Japan on an airplane, or a whole day's worth of traveling, the Sennheiser is more likely to get you there than the Zik. The Zik, you're going to have to manage your power throughout the day a little bit better. And if you do run out, these sound better when you plug in the cable and go to passive mode. These sound way worse. Another headphone that's like that is the Beats Studio 2 Wireless. I don't have one here right now to show you, but it can't operate on a wire passively, and its sound is nowhere near as good as this, the Sennheiser, because the Sennheiser is competent. The Beats is not. Well, what about the Bose? Well, the Bose isn't wireless, so you can't use it as a wireless headset. The Bose, I think, does sound better when it's activated and doing noise canceling on a plane, if you can go with the wire. But if the battery runs out, when you operate this headphone passively, it sounds just horrible. Again, it's the problem with these headphones like this is there's a lot of electronics going on here, not a whole lot of room for acoustics, and the engineers really struggle to get them to sound good. And as a consequence, in a lot of the modes of operation, they don't sound good at all. So the Sennheiser does a great job, actually, of sounding competent in all its modes, and that is pretty rare. Um, you're paying a lot to get that top of the class performance, even though that top of class performance isn't all that great in this case, but you're still getting it. So yeah, I will definitely recommend these headphones if you've got the kind of money to afford it. But if you don't need noise canceling, you just want a wireless headphone, you can get better sound from the Electronics Matrix 2, Airfine Matrix 2 AF62 here. That's a $99. Sometimes you can get it for $89. So if you just need a wireless headset, I would get the Electronics because it really sounds great. It's probably the best one I've heard, or one of the very best wireless headphones I've heard. But if you're a traveler, you need long battery life, a headphone that's super comfortable for long periods of time, one that sounds good when you do run out of battery power. The Sennheiser Momentum will get you there. And so, yeah, I'm going to put it up on the Wall of Fame. It's expensive, but it is the top of its class, and it's worthy of the slot up there. So, good job, Sennheiser. All I can say is that in the world of wireless noise-canceling headphones, we've got a long way to go, and everybody's got a long way to go. And this is another step forward. So, thanks to Sennheiser for that. All right. Well, that's it for the Sennheiser Momentum. I didn't show you the buttons. There's just the power button and a button to fast forward and rewind by pushing and raising and lowering the level on the back. It's got microphones on the front for your phone conversations. It all works good and looks good and feels good. All right. We'll see you guys next time.